The following morning, I was wondering, I'm like, what's the chance that Shin's gonna come in here, see us together, and be like, not draw the right conclusion, just be like, oh, did you guys get drunk without me and then and then fell asleep here? Man, you guys are silly. like, well, let's see if he gets it. Come on, Shin. Let me believe in you.
Yo, Sano, you up? We gotta meet up with Haga later this afternoon to discuss in the strategy room. Make sure you aren't hanging out around the red light district.
Nagakora joked with Sanosuke, completely unaware that we had spent the night together. My chest tightened nervously as I waited for Sanosuke to initiate the talk between them. I love that now even her inner thoughts are like, it's Sanosuke. It's not Harada anymore. That is so good. Oh, my heart. I love it.
Hey, Shinpachi. I gotta talk to you. What's up?
Nagakora perked up out of curiosity, and Sanosuke was hesitant to answer at first, digging his teeth into his bottom lip. Sanosuke paused and took a deep breath. It was hard for him to look Nagakora in the eye.
I can't go with you anymore. I'm leaving with her, today.
Nagakora was stunned, standing with his jaw agape as Sanosuke's words registered. Nagakora then scratched his head, letting out a dry laugh.
What the hell, man? Leaving the Shinsengumi wasn't enough for you then? Now you gotta leave me too? Makes me think of the look on Kondo's face when we told him.
When Nagakora realized that Sanosuke was being serious, however, the mood in the room shifted immensely and Nagakora's expression dropped.
Hey, Sano. What are you playing at? We've come all this way together. We've spent all this time training with this new weaponry, and we're finally in a good position to challenge the Satsuma Choshu. What are you thinking?
Nagakora began to raise his voice out of concern. Although Nagakora often expressed this discontent rashly in the past, this time he was far more reserved. Sanosuke, however, hadn't responded. There was no attempt to sugarcoat things, nor did he insist on any excuses.
Why are you just standing there, huh? Tell me what the hell's going on already! You'd better have a good fucking reason for breaking a promise like that. Answer me, you little shit!
By now, Nagakora was shouting at the top of his lungs in disbelief, charging Sanosuke and grabbing him by the lapel as if he had been betrayed. Nagakora, you can't! I blurted out, watching helplessly from the side.
Chizuru, stay out of this!
Sanosuke snapped at me. Nagakora picked up on our body language, clicking his tongue smugly in response.
Oh, I see how it is. Don't want to say anything, do you? Let's take this outside. If you're not going to talk, then maybe your spear will.
Why are you guys not talking? Why are we not... Sano, why are you just like, I'm leaving, stairs? ... Doesn't say, here's the situation, this is why I'm going, I still love you, bro. I don't know. Is this a guy thing? Like, do you have to, like, bruise each other first before you say anything, or what? I don't get it. Nagakora grabbed Sanosuke's spear and tossed it at him nonchalantly.
What's this? You're letting me use my spear? I don't need this. A sword's all I need to take you down, you know.
Uses it anyway.
Fat chance. If we're gonna go sword to sword, then you won't last a second with me out there.
Nagakora unsheathed his sword and got into an attacking stance, taking long, drawn-out breaths. It was so silent that one could hear a pin drop when...
Okay. Here I go!
Nagakora kicked at the ground, brutishly charging towards Sanosuke with his sword pointed at the ready. There was no way of confusing Nagakora's aggressive movements with playful sparring. The tip of his blade was aimed for Sanosuke's neck, right beside his carotid artery. Okay. It was unmistakable. If Sanosuke were to perform an incorrect move, causing Nagakora's blade to land on his artery, it would mean certain death. In other words, Nagakora struck with the intent to kill, leaving Sanosuke with no choice but to retaliate to the best of his ability.
I see right through you!
Sanosuke parried his spear upwards, deflecting Nagakora's strike, their blades clanking noisily upon impact.
Ugh!
The two of them winced as they pushed back against each other, neither one willing to budge. Nagakora leapt backwards, keeping himself distant from the reach of Sanosuke's spear. Harada seized this brief opportunity and darted forward to poke Nagakora furiously. Nagakora kept ducking and weaving to avoid the spear's tip, which at one point had just barely missed being stabbed into his throat. Guys.
Ugh!
Nagakora nearly bent his spine backwards, getting out of the way of Sanosuke's spear. An electrifying aura permeated the air around them, each warrior emanating remarkable levels of energy. They exchanged blows so rapidly that neither could afford to relent, demonstrating poise as they came back stronger with every strike. Watching their blades constantly teetering on the edge of a killing blow made my breathing tense. You think? I really hope there's not a bad ending where one of them kills the other guy. Cause, no. Oof.
You little shit!
A sudden realization slapped me across the face. Neither Sanosuke nor Nagakora were strangers to the other's fighting style, nor were they fazed by the constant pressure of their cutthroat battle. As an outsider, their duel was more akin to a choreographed dance, fluid and effortless. All of it seemed too obvious to me now. It was a display of mutual admiration, two incredible warriors dueling at the peak of their abilities. Both of them had huge grins across their faces. Oh boy. No amount of fatigue could deter them from giving each other their all, but Nagakora faltered just a bit. Sanosuke unleashed a punishing flurry of attacks against which not even Okita could defend. Not even the great Okita?
Damn you! You're really trying to kill me. I didn't ask for a shave, sheesh. You've been practicing, haven't you?
Sweat glistened across Nagakora's forehead, below which were his eyes burning intently. Even so, Nagakora flashed a wide smile.
Right back at you. If you were fighting anyone else, they would have been killed in the first minute.
Sanosuke responded with a smile in kind. It appeared as though both of them were in their element, basking in the extreme tension. Whoa. That's starburst. Nagakora swung his blade downwards, only to be blocked by Sanosuke, who shoved the butt end of his spear squarely into his solar plexus.
Ooh!
There was no chance for Nagakora to dodge this time. Nagakora had the wind thoroughly knocked out of him, and he dropped to the floor in exhaustion. As Nagakora tried to catch his breath on the ground, Sanosuke pointed the end of his spear at his throat.
That settles that.
Sanosuke gazed proudly down at his friend in a show of tender affection.
Oof.
With his brows furrowed, Nagakora looked as if he were about to say something to Sanosuke, but instead he got back to his feet, dusting the dirt from off of his shoulders and knees.
Oh, damn it. I don't get you. At all. Man, you really are one in a million, man. The two of us... We could have achieved so many great things together on the battlefield. Why are you giving up the fight before it's even started? You're wasting everything you've worked so hard for. Your spear's never gonna forgive you. On top of it all, it's because of a woman? Oh, I don't get it at all!
Although Nagakora looked all smiles, Upon closer inspection, I swore that I could see ample tears forming behind his dark eyes. Instead of chastising him, Sanosuke extended an affectionate glance towards Nagakura, responding to his objections calmly.
You know, swords have their time and place. For some, like you, that time is whenever, and for others, it's when your country calls upon you. But for me and the woman I love, I find that this time is slowly losing its place in our lives. Fighting has lost its luster, at least for me. Besides, each warrior's duty is to protect the women and children in his life first and foremost, is it not? God damn it, I know that! Let me wallow in my self-pity, would ya?
Nagakura smirked wistfully, sheathing his sword back into its scabbard. His shoulders slumped lackadaisically, pausing for a moment before addressing Sanosuke.
Hey, Sano. There's just one thing I want to ask you. What is it? If she was never in the picture, do you think you still would have left the Shinsengumi with me when we did?
Nagakura's abrupt question took Sanosuke by surprise, whose eyes widened immediately. Don't worry, Shin, he would have. Trust me, he did leave every other route. I stood nervously, rubbing my fingers out of anxious habit before Sanosuke broke into a quiet chuckle.
What the hell kind of obvious question is that? I'm standing in front of you right here, right now, aren't I? That's all the proof that you need.
Nagakura's eyes were turning watery, trembling in awe towards the person he most revered.
Got it.
Bro hug, please. Yay! With me too! Aw, Shin! Ah. Beautiful.
Oh, well, screw you guys. This is way over my head. Go do whatever the hell you want. My heart's pulling me somewhere else.
Nagakura. Nagakura walked behind us, standing between me and Sanosuke as he gently patted our backs.
Ha! I don't need your permission to leave. Don't go running your mouth before the Imperial Army tears your ass a new one. Give 'em all you got. Watch out for yourself.
Sure enough, they were back to trading banter in the only way they knew how. Insults.
Chizuru, if Sano ever makes you cry, then you come back to me, got it? I'll make sure to teach him a lesson. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna get some payback for what he pulled on me earlier. Oh yeah? Bring it on. I'd like it to be a challenge for once.
And judging by how easily they settled back into treating each other like best friends again. Okay, Nagakura. Let's make sure we see each other again. Oh no. Sorry, Shin. I hope I didn't sneeze on you. I was trying to get through that without sneezing. My allergies had other plans. There was a light inside of me, a candle kept safe beside my warm heart, telling me that one day all of us would come together like we had now. I hope so. It was a potent hope. We would all be reunited soon, and these tenuous days would be behind us. So long as all of us live, there will always be a chance. Hold on to it. We'll invite him over for sake one day. In our cozy little home by the ocean. Whoops. Clink goes my glass. We bid our emotional farewell to Nagakura, parting ways with him and the people of Utsunomiya. I just don't understand why Sano didn't explain anything about why we're going. Like a little bit. Like, I'm leaving because of her, and I don't want to fight in the war anymore. I want to go and live my life, but there's other things we're going to go do. Oh well, it's his business. With that, Sanosuke and I packed our belongings and traveled down the mountainous path back to Edo. After a few hours of walking, I inhaled deeply, taking in the crisp mountain air, and Sanosuke suddenly turned to face me.
Chizuru, how's your body doing? Should we take a break soon?
Huh? What do you mean by my body?
Well, you know, you didn't get much sleep last night.
His casual mention of the previous night sparked a vivid memory that I hadn't anticipated discussing. I sheepishly averted my eyes away from him. My cheeks felt as though they were on fire. I was hot from my face to the back of my ears, which made me even more nervous if Sanosuke were to notice. I kept my gaze firmly fixed on my feet. I'm fine. But are you okay, Sanosuke?
Well, compared to you, I've got stamina for days.
That's not what I meant. I had to think carefully about how to phrase the concerns I had in my initial question. Although Sanosuke had assured me that he was truly content with leaving for Edo with me, Nagakura's memory would linger with him forever, and it couldn't have been easy to tell someone with whom you'd spent most of your life goodbye. It was a delicate situation, and I wanted to make sure that in discussing it, I hadn't upset Sanosuke by suggesting that I was questioning his sincerity.
Alright then. In that case, let's keep going. Chizuru, just let me know whenever you need to catch your breath, okay?
I will. Thank you. I'm a demon, man. I got stamina too. Don't worry about it. Continuing down the paved road, I watched the glow of sunset slip away into the distant horizon.
Guess we got no choice but to camp out tonight.
Sanosuke plopped his things down and started preparing a spot upon the ground to build a bonfire. Ooh.
Sorry, kid. I thought that we'd hit an inn or something by the evening. I'm terrible at planning ahead.
Oh, not at all. I apologize for walking so slowly.
Go ahead and get some sleep. I'll watch the fire.
Oh, I don't mind watching the fire.
It's all good. Just listen to me, would you? If you get even a few hours of sleep, then tomorrow will be a breeze.
Sanosuke's voice was gruff, and he tossed some wood pieces sitting nearby into the open flame. It amazed me that, even in after hours of mundane walking, he could still be so considerate of me. His insistence almost made me feel guilty for refusing the first time. Alright, then I'll take you up on your offer. Good night, Sanosuke. I rested my head against the root of a nearby tree, nestling atop the soft grass, and shut my eyes. All of the soreness in my body seemed to melt away, and I dozed off immediately into a pleasant slumber. Man, she really was tired. In the comfort of my mind, I began to dream. About Dad? Huh.
Chizuru, are you feeling any better? I have prepared some porridge for you, so eat up.
Father, I can't stop coughing.
It appears as though you've contracted the mumps. If you monitor your fever, it should pass soon.
Oh, that's right. Father cared for me dutifully, especially when I had grown ill from the mumps when I was younger. Aw. Even 5 or 6 years later, when I was first practicing my handwriting, Father took the time to invest himself in whatever it is I was doing.
Chizuru, what did you learn today in class?
Some history about Edo and Chinese calligraphy. My teacher says that we don't need to study calligraphy, though, that we should all start learning Dutch studies soon.
Educational materials imported by the Dutch that cover an expansive range of topics, namely in the fields of cultural and technological studies.
Actually, they say Dutch studies are obsolete.
I'm pretty sure it's not Chizuru saying, from what my colleagues tell me.
From what my colleagues tell me, the studies gathered in Great Britain and France are far more comprehensive.
Really? Wow, times sure are changing.
Chizuru.
Yes, what is it?
Well, have you started to take an interest in anyone yet?
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, You're getting to be the age when young women begin thinking about these sorts of things.
What do you mean by these sorts of things?
Well,
Poor Dad, trying to have the birds and the bees discussion with me. Father had shifted uncomfortably, gulping discreetly to clear his throat. His silence told me all that I needed to know. He had suggested that if I ever were to fall in love with a man, he would want to know. Revisiting the memory of this time inside of my dream was peculiar and bittersweet all at once. I used to be carefree, unbound to anything or anyone. Father, as I had known him for my entire life, was nothing but gentle and loving. But now I was tasked with the responsibility of taking his life and ending his cruel, salacious plot.
Father.
The memory of his smile, warm and jovial, was fading slowly, replaced with the sinister grin I saw in Kofu. I reached my hand out, hoping to touch his familiar face before it vanished into the haze. Just then...
Chizuru! Chizuru, are you okay?
My sleep was interrupted by the sensation of being violently shaken, and suddenly my eyes shot open. What? Sanosuke? My entire neck and back were dripping with cold sweat.
Are you okay? You started groaning in your sleep. Did you have a nightmare?
Oh. Was I saying anything? Like, did I talk in my sleep? Sanosuke bit his lip, turning to face in another direction. His gaze was fixed on the orange flame flickering lightly through the darkness beside us.
Yeah, you were. You wouldn't stop saying father over and over.
As soon as Sanosuke confirmed it, I was flung back into the dream from which I just awoke. Did I really stand any chance of stopping Father? His life was in my hands, and when the time came, I wasn't sure if I was ready to make that decision.
Chizuru, are you... okay? Are you ready for this?
Ready? Sanosuke's question touched precisely upon what worried me most. It was like he was a mind reader. I was sure that his question hadn't only referred to dealing with my father, but... I had to ask myself if I had gotten in over my head, or if perhaps I misplaced my trust in Sanosuke by expecting him to accept this undertaking with me. At least I hope so. I told him that... I mean... I think she should be honest with him. Because he should know how she's feeling about it. To be honest, I still have my doubts. I decided to be candid about my feelings. As in, what choices I've made and everything we left behind to get into this position. I'm not sure there'll ever come a day where I don't pine about the way things used to be, or for the company of the people we love. It's like you said last night, Sanosuke. Every decision has its consequences, and there's nothing we can do to stop worrying about them. I dwelled on the thought of what Sanosuke might have had to sacrifice to join me on this journey. It was likely that I could never repay a debt of this magnitude back to him, which was crushing to me. Our bonfire crackled in the background, filling the space of our awkward silence. But there's no turning back now, no matter how much I may want to. Time and time again, I've gone back and forth with myself, fighting the anxious thoughts in my mind whenever tough decisions needed to be made. Except for one decision, which was... I chose Sanosuke, of all people, as the one who would hold my fragile heart. After another moment of silence, Sanosuke spoke. Aw, yay, he appreciated us being honest with him.
Guess you and I are in a similar spot.
Then he gently rested his hands upon my shoulders. I gasped, staring back at his alluring gaze, and my heart tightened in my chest. He tenderly grazed the side of my cheek, tracing a line underneath my chin before tilting my head upwards. I froze. Sanosuke's beautiful amber eyes were gazing at me, the light of the bonfire twinkling inside of them. She just loves his amber eyes. They radiated with confidence and strength. Uncertainty glowed inside of them as well. All of his fears, his anxieties, his weaknesses.
Chizuru, close your eyes.
Huh? Oh. He whispered urgently, and I shut my eyes as he had instructed. My heartbeat sped up to the pace of a gallop. All I could feel was the warm tingle of Sanosuke's fingers against my pale face. I've been here before. I know what comes next. The space between our lips closing, the warmth. How could I ever forget? Aw, what a sweet kiss. That's really, really sweet. I like that. I suddenly felt his moist lips pressed against mine. Something about this kiss was different to our first, where Sanosuke's brazenness got the better of me. Nor was it similar to the second time we had kissed, which was an intimate moment born from the ashes of our eager, desperate hearts. This kiss, however, felt like something new. A token of comfort during an emotionally trying time. It was gentle and hushed. Yeah, you guys have been smooching all over the place. Our lips were tenderly cupped together like sand guarded in the palm of our hands, careful not to let any grain slip from under our delicate embrace. Alright. Neither of us seemed willing to part from the other, as if we were holding on to the one thing giving us life. Or at least, so I felt. What other words could describe this feeling? Even as my heart seemed ready to burst from out of my chest, as my cheeks seemed determined to light a blaze, I felt a placid calm take hold of me. Sanosuke pulled back slightly for a brief moment, taking in a little breath with a calm smile. As our eyes met, he kissed me once more. This kiss was completely different. It was passionate, like he had put all of himself behind it. Man, this girl just rating these kisses and describing them all. It's great. Sanosuke bit my lower lip, nibbling on it as he pushed his tongue further and further into my mouth. I instinctively grabbed his chest and pulled him in. I gave in to these natural feelings, listening to the bonfire crackle as our bodies wrapped around each other with vigor. Sanosuke's hands traveled my body like an atlas, landing upon my shoulders with a tight squeeze. After a moment, we pulled our faces apart. Such passion.
Jeez, I'm so goddamn self-centered.
Sanosuke's eyes beamed confidently as he spoke. Huh?
Earlier I was a nervous wreck. Now I'm completely calm. It's kinda strange. When I tried committing seppuku in EDO, I failed, which led me to believe I lost the only chance I had at an honorable death. I had to leave my domain. But after meeting Shinpachi, Kondo, and everyone else back in Edo, thinking about our arrival in Kyoto, how we formed the Shinsengumi to make a name for ourselves, I'm starting to feel like all of that was building up to this very moment.
Hearing Sanosuke speak so candidly about his true feelings made the hair stand over my entire body. I too couldn't help but feel fate brought us together. How I originally arrived in Kyoto in search of father. How I came to reside under the custody of the Shinsengumi. All of it had a purpose, which was introducing me to Sanosuke so that the two of us could spend our lives together until the day we die. It felt like we had discovered a revelation, as if the universe conspired to bring us together in some sort of divine miracle. Universe also known as me the player. I schemed my way through all the saves and the choices to get you two together, and it worked.
I've always longed for a relationship built upon an unbreakable bond of love and trust, one that's tough enough to weather life's inevitable storms. But even the longest married couples in the world have their battles. It takes time. People doubt one another, but they stand firm. Every conversation is a chance to learn something about your partner, but more importantly, yourself. maybe, just maybe, that's the key to a long-lasting marriage between a husband and wife.
Right. Just as we've done so many times in the past. Although there are times where our insecurities get the better of us, when everything seems pointless. No matter what, I could rely on Sanosuke and his support. Having him beside me makes me a stronger woman. Whatever trepidations I'd burdened myself with in the past, he gave me the confidence to take them on. I was sure of it. Our hearts were becoming forged as one. The steel of our love was being tempered under the heat of our extraordinary journey in this troubling time, giving us the bond Sanosuke always wished for. Best of all, we created it together. Nice. That was beautiful. Just beautiful.